This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. An audit has uncovered bad management practices which have cost the state-run oil refinery Petra hundreds of millions of dollars. Auditor General Pamela Monroe-Ellis has warned that if left unresolved, there is an increased risk of corruption that would further erode the entity's profitability. The probe by the Auditor General, whose findings were tabled yesterday in the House of Representatives, confirmed that millions were spent on lavish parties and unapproved sponsorships, while glaring human resource breaches occurred, which caused Petra to end up in court as sacked employees challenged their dismissal. Several red flags were raised about contracts awarded by the oil refinery and questionable operational practices, which resulted in the departure of Petra's general manager Floyd Grindley earlier this year, and the human resource manager's resignation, Ms. Yolande Ramharak, 2 weeks ago. The Auditor General found that although liquidity levels were inadequate to cover its obligations, Petra made questionable payments related to procurement activities, had significant project cost overruns, and overspent on donations, which further impaired cash flow. Transport Minister Robert Montague has announced a program which will allow public passenger transport drivers with criminal records to obtain their badges while they seek expungement. Mr. Montague was addressing the House of Representatives Tuesday afternoon.
I would like to announce a campaign to improve the processing of badges under the theme Free Up the Badges. Mr. Speaker, all persons who have applied for road licenses over the past 10 months will automatically qualify for badges. As such, they will only be required to pay the processing fee of $3,000 and complete the driver educational training course undertaken by the Transport Authority. Mr. Speaker, one of the main reasons for non-compliance with the badges is that several operators have an adverse police record. The Transport Authority will, where applicants for badges have a minor criminal offense, they will issue a temporary or provisional badge valid until March 31st, 2019, provided that the applicant pays the minimal fee of $2,000, and during this period, the applicant will be encouraged to apply to the Ministry of Justice to have their criminal records expunged.
He said the Free Up Badge campaign will help to fix this problem. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark announced this week that a senior technical team from the International Monetary Fund's Institute of Capacity Development will lead a training workshop on strengthening macroeconomic framework skills at the ministry. The workshop is slated to run from Monday, December 10 until Friday, December 14. Participants of the workshop will include technical staff from the Ministry of Finance and Public Service and the Bank of Jamaica, as well as the Planning Institute of Jamaica and the Auditor General's Department. As of 2019, beverages containing more than 6 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters will no longer be allowed at public educational institutions. That's according to the interim guidelines for beverages in school, which has been approved by the Cabinet. It was tabled in the House of Representatives Tuesday afternoon by Dr. Christopher Tufton.
These measures are to produce or reduce exposure to and consumption of sugary drink beverages and increase the consumption of water or healthier options. This is while enabling, Mr. Speaker, implementation of the National School Nutrition Standards being developed by the Ministry of Health, which are in turn to support the implementation of the nutrition-related aspects of the National School Nutrition Policy, now being finalized by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information.
The Health Minister said beverages brought from home are not included.
Beverages brought from home, Mr. Speaker, are not being regulated at this time. However, robust education campaigns will be launched to discourage the provision of sugary drink beverages to our children. So we will hopefully use moral suasion to discourage the consumption, or parents sending these products with their children as part of their lunch packages.
Phase 1 of the Burnham Field Development Project in Clarendon commenced on October 29 with the bushing of the aerodrome and is scheduled to be completed by this week. This was disclosed by Minister without Portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mike Henry, during a statement to the House of Representatives yesterday. By way of cabinet decision, approval was given to proceed with the implementation of the Burnham Field Development Project.
By way of cabinet decision number 1017, approval was given to proceed with the implementation of the Burnham Field Development Project. The limited scope of the project allows for the establishment of an aviation training and aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul service, warehousing, and humanitarian relief services.
The limited scope of the project allows for the establishment of aviation training and aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul services, and warehousing of humanitarian relief supplies. The elements of Phase 1 of the development program are bushing of the aerodrome to the minimal dimensions determined prior to receiving a technical report on the runway condition, and installation of utilities, including a small terminal to facilitate the operation of the services at the aerodrome. Major operations are now underway in several parishes as the police and military intensify the clampdown on crime and murders. The focus is on Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Clarendon, St. Catherine, as well as Kingston and St. Andrew. Major General Basil Jarrett, Media Affairs Officer at the Jamaica Defense Force, said those parishes were selected because, quote, they have seen continued rise in murders and crime and general gang activity, end quote. He said the security teams will conduct targeted raids, vehicle checkpoints, aerial operations and patrols until the new year. Major Jarrett is urging residents to assist the security forces in dismantling gangs. He said persons can call the JDF tip line at 876-837-8888. That's 876-837-8888 to give information. The US dollar on Tuesday, December 5, ended trading at $127.91, up by 45 cents. According to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary, the Canadian dollar ended trading at Jamaica $95.88, down from $96.03, while the British pound sterling ended trading at $163.42, up from $159.03. In regional news, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness Tuesday reiterated that the decision to establish a commission to review his country's relationship with the Caribbean community, that's CARICOM, was not intended to create an avenue for it to leave the 15-member regional integration movement. Addressing the second and final day of the two-day CARICOM Summit on the Single Market and Economy, the CSME, Mr. Holness said that it was imperative that the commission, under the chairmanship of former Prime Minister Bruce Golding, was established to give his then new administration empirical evidence of its relationship with CARICOM and the wider Caribbean Forum. He said the government, facing these growing political issues, had to respond with empirical evidence. And so they initiated a commission to review their relations with CARICOM and within the wider CARIFORUM region. In sports, Jamaicans Princess Brown and Stephanie Dale Yee Sing have been selected among 27 referees and 48 referee assistants from 42 different countries for next year's FIFA Women's World Cup in France. Both Brown and Yee Sing created history when they officiated the final of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Uruguay recently. The journey to the FIFA Women's World Cup 2019 began for an initial group of female referees and assistant referees from all over the world back in September 2015, when FIFA officially started its Road to France 2019 Women's Refereeing Project. Selectors have opted for Rovman Powell to lead West Indies in their three-match one-day international series against Bangladesh starting next weekend. Regular captain Jason Holder will miss the series as he continues to recover from injury, which also ruled him out of the recent Test series. The 15-man squad sees the return of Darren Bravo and Carlos Brathwaite, but it is without the likes of key players like Chris Gale, Evan Lewis, Andre Russell, and Sunil Narain. And that's the news. Thanks so much for making it PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.